the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. I'm Michael.
And I am Manglor Newland.
And I'm Andrew. It's kind of funny to hear John come up with a funny name and not mine. I wasn't absolutely sure. I never know what to expect from Michael.
It kind of fit in because Middle Newland, Manglor, and I was like, hey, I can play off both of them there.
Yeah. Okay, so you're listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. This is episode 102, and this is just a place where the three of us like to get together and talk about toys from our childhood and give you a history lesson about how those toys got made, ended up in the stores, and ultimately in our households. This week, a one that we didn't have, but we are rewinding back to 1984 to talk about a destructive action figure line released by Ideal. We're going to rip apart some of the Manglor toy line this week. So, and I say that by ripping apart. We're not going to rip them apart. You could literally rip these figures apart. We're not metaphorically doing it with our words. Like you could literally do it and then put them back together. So
we might be ripping them apart a little bit.
We might be, but take that part with a grain of salt. We'll see what happens. We got a lot to learn on this one. So, John, why don't you do your thing and we can get into it.
Alrighty, so I can talk. Social networks. You can look our websites over at toyrewindpodcast.com or check us out at crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you're over on Cross the Streams Media, you can leave us a voicemail there. Just click the little mic emblem on the bottom and you'll be able to do that. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. I know Michael's been doing his Motorin' Mondays on say what?
Yeah, he's doing his Motorin' Mondays. I have not started the Turtle Tuesdays yet.
Turtle Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got stuff we're putting out there, trying to add some more content and everything, and on YouTube and stuff. So keep an eye on that. And then, of course, if you want to play along and play a game, we've got our podcast game over at podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. I know Mom was playing.
She was
not long ago.
She was asking about Michael. What was it? Michael was doing something.
Oh, it was something. It was about the singing.
Yeah. And asking if he if that counted as a song, as music. What was it? Something like that. Right. Yeah.
But so, what did you do, Michael? You did I don't remember what you did.
He did something. It was so at least somebody's playing. I don't know. That hasn't been updated in quite a while. So whoever does the podcast bingo stuff should maybe update something every once, someday. Someday that'll happen. So what else we got? Is that it?
That's it on the social medias.
Okay. And your mic sounds much better now, just so you know.
Yes. I had to switch over. I don't know which one it was trying to pick up on.
Yeah. So it's all right. Well, then with that, I don't have much going on. It is the week of New York City Comic Con. And so I'm anticipating
collectors as well as in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff going on. People,
no wonder we're so slow at the story today. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, everybody's either in New York or in LA.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on. So I'm anticipating seeing some new cool toys hitting Twitter and Instagram, and I know there's lots of stuff going on at Funko, BIM Toy, all those stuff, and there's lots more that's there that I just haven't seen a lot of it yet. So I'll be happy to see some of that stuff coming out and everything. So. All right. With that, you guys ready?
Yep, we can go with it.
All right. Let's rewind and get into it.
All right, we're going to talk about Manglors. So with commercials that start out with the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The answer was maybe it was a Manglor. So that's what their commercials start out as. It was, which came first, chicken or egg? Maybe it was a Manglor. So
I mean,
these figures came in a little egg compartment thing to store them in. So an egg storage thing.
oh well, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, an egg for this line here. So it doesn't, to me, it doesn't fit. I don't know. So, so anyway, it was a toy line from Ideal Toys that was not as ideal as they wanted you to think. So these figures came packaged in an egg, but that wasn't the main gimmick of this line. But let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about the short backstory that it had. It has a little short backstory, not much, but something. So this line didn't have a cartoon or a comic or anything else to support it. So it did have some kind of story. So these guys are from a harsh volcanic planet from the other side of the galaxy, orbiting a red star named Betelgeuse or Beetlejuice, however you want to pronounce it. So the one human-like figure is named Manglor, and is a ferocious warrior, chieftain, and master of survival. So that's the story of these. It's not much, but it's a little bit. So so the gimmick of this line, like you said, like we said earlier in one of the other several other episodes we had, these toys from the 80s, they had a gimmick, some kind of gimmick on all these toy lines. So these figures were made of flexible, sticky, and mostly unpainted sorbothane. So they didn't have any joints, and they couldn't stand on their own. So the packaging actually provided you a little stand to prop them up on. So that came along with the egg as well in the packaging. So sorbothane is a synthetic viscoelastic urethane polymer that normally used as a shock absorber and vibration damper. It behaves like a quasi-liquid, being readily deformed by an applied force and slow to recover. So,
No, wait.
Nope.
When the technician talked about the recovery, it wasn't just slow to recover. It was a slow, retarded recovery. I don't know why he said that.
Because it
it's
was
like
1984.
1984.
Yeah.
So
I was like, did he really say that?
Yeah, it was 1984. That's why he said that.
Exactly.
We don't say that now.
No. So it was. So so this. So where was that on my notes here? And which means, so we're talking about that. So which means you can stretch and squash the figures, and they will slowly return back to their original shape and form. You can also tear them apart and supposedly stick them back together again. We say supposedly. So this is the part where Ideal was kind of shady on this. And then they actually said, they said that you could possibly put it back together, but they never exactly said that you could put it back together.
You could possibly put it.
Yeah, possibly. So that's what Ideal wanted you to think. When in fact it kind of stuck back together. So once you pull it apart and put it right back together right then, it's still sticky enough, it sticks to itself, but it's not actually formed back together in one solid piece. So that piece could actually fall off or whatever. It's not really, it's sticky enough to stick together. But if you don't stick it in the right spot back, it doesn't stick right. If you wait a little bit longer than like a couple seconds, it won't stick like it should. So there was Penny Power, which was a Consumers Union children's publication. So it was a magazine back in the 80s for children's toys. They took on the claim by tearing apart one of these figures and found that they could not get the product to live up to its advertising. They couldn't get the pieces to stick back together. So the packaging actually encouraged children to mix and match the parts of the various Manglors. So out of all the figures, you could take them apart and you could stick one of the legs onto the back of one of the other figures, and it was supposed to stick and stay. But like I said, if you don't stick it on there within a couple of seconds, it's not going to stick. So that's the problem that they had on this. I mean, they said you could possibly do it, but it won't. It doesn't. Never
It's
worked.
not. Yeah, it's not going to work.
So, so the first wave consisted of 3 figures. The second one had 3 figures. So you had Manglor, and these are all pretty much a solid color. There's not any other colorations except for Manglord, who was a green color, and he had a like a collar around his neck. It was purple, and then he had a grass skirt looking thing that was purple as well. So you had Manglord, Manglosaurus, and Manglodactyl, which was in the first wave. The second wave consisted of Manglodemon, Manglizard, and Manglodragon.
Manglodemon.
Manglodemon. Yes.
Okay.
So those are your 6 total right there. And I guess they couldn't come up with any other names other than putting Mang in front of what they thought they were. Manglord, Manglosaurus, which was a what was it, Tyrannosaurus Rex looking thing. Manglodactyl, which was a pterodactyl. Manglodemon was some kind of little demon looking critter. Manglizard was just a lizard. And Manglodragon was a dragon. So
it sounds like somebody spent a lot of time trying to figure this out, Michael.
They did, yeah. They spent a lot of time coming up with these names. Like a whole 30 seconds, I guess.
So much time. They should just
Yes.
deal with it.
And no, these toys, they promise that you could squish them and stretch them like Stretch Armstrong and ball them up, and then they slowly go back into their form. But the packaging said you could tear it apart. So that's the first thing a kid did was he got this new toy and tore the leg off and tried to stick it on his head or something, and it never worked. So it was you didn't this toy didn't last but a minute if that long in the kid's hands. So
I mean, it's an interesting idea trying to get something, with all these kids like John that like to destroy everything. You give them a toy that maybe they can put back together and do it over and over and over.
I was researching this earlier, and Megan was in here, and she goes, "This would be the perfect toy for you." I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah, except it doesn't actually go back together.
Right.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Everything
you end up
else,
like something like this, the leg arm hanging off to the side that you can't get put on.
Yeah, so there you go.
And there's your little stand, by the way.
Yeah, it's like a little lava spray sticking out, and it's to prop up your out of the rock, and he leans up against that. Yeah. So, but it says on the box, it says create your own creatures. So you could take parts, but it didn't work.
So you could possibly, if it would have actually worked, take would you say Manglor Rex and give him Manglosaurus and give him Manglor's head?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
That's the whole ideal behind Ideal's idea.
Okay. I have a very, very important question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because these came out in 1984.
Yeah.
I was 1,
mm-hmm.
if not even 1. Do you remember these, Michael?
I do not. No.
John? I didn't figure you did, John. I was hoping Michael might be a little
4.
bit. Right. Well, that's what I was saying. I was hoping Michael, being a little bit older, might have actually remembered.
Michael was 7. I mean,
I don't remember these. They just weren't on my radar. They didn't last very long because the first 3 came out in 1984, and then the second 3 came out in 1985, and then
What else came out in 1985? What else have we talked about that came out in 85?
A bunch of stuff.
I know. Well, that's what I was just like.
I mean, 85. You still had some Star Wars stuff showing up. The end of Star Wars. You had all your Motu stuff. You had Transformers. You had your GI Joe. You had.
Well, I was just trying to think of like first years. Okay, so here
Nintendo,
you go.
85.
85. Mad Balls came out in 85.
Yeah, Mad Balls.
Marvel's Secret Wars was 84. I'm just looking through a few of the ones that we have. We actually have notes on with just right here. Looking at the we've talked about Ideal before. Have we actually talked about one of their toy lines, or was it?
No, we talked about a couple of the toy lines already. Yeah.
There's been 102 of these episodes. I'm starting to mix them all together. So what else have we talked about from them at this point? Because I'm trying to compare if Mad Balls came out in 85 and then these came out in 85, the quality is so much worse with these Manglors.
Yeah, I mean it's just a piece of sticky foam type stuff. There's nothing else. Like I said, there's no articulation, there's no joints. It's just this kind of floppy figure that can't even stand up on its own, and he's kind of sticky. And even if you don't tear him apart, he's going to have dirt and grime and hair and junk stuck to him. So he wouldn't last very long to start off with if you didn't tear him apart. So I mean, it's just not good. Trying to think. We talked about RoboForce was Ideal Toys in 84.
Oh yeah, RoboForce beats this in a heartbeat.
So RoboForce, we talked about a bad toy line there. Ideal didn't have a very good run in the 80s with figures. They did better in the earlier years, the 60s, 50s, 60s. The 80s just wasn't. I guess that's why they didn't last much longer after the 80s. So, you asked how many we actually talked about from Ideal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to compare what else that we've talked about from them to this. I mean, this is a. Sorry, I guess I was right. We were going to tear this one apart. And while you're looking at that, John, let's talk about this commercial. I'm just going to show it. We're not going to talk about the audio. We're just going to watch this commercial. If you're watching the video, you do it. So it starts off with looking at this egg. There's an egg. It's sitting there. You can tell it's cracked in half. And then the kid picks it up and opens it up, and a Manglor comes out, right? All of these figures are in an egg.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs make sense because dinosaurs obviously came out of eggs, and you can just cram them in there. So, okay, interesting packaging. That's the only thing that these things have going for them. Then the kids start just squishing them up, and then he rips it apart, opens it up, and just shoves the arm back on it. Oh my gosh, it's stuck together, and then it fell apart right after that shot. So that's why they cut real quick from him.
Yeah.
These are. What were they thinking?
If they actually stuck back together, it'd be a cool toy line.
If they actually molded back together the way they were supposed to, but they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
Because you still had that, like even now, I saw another one. The guy got one, and you can still see the whole line where it's ripped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just don't. I mean, how are you gonna? You can't really mold foam back together like that. Not that kind of foam, at least.
No.
And not when a toy like that. Like you had to get it. I assume you had to get it wet a little bit, or was it just sticky?
It was already sticky, I think.
Now, it is in the package that you're supposed to wash them to keep them.
You wash it with soapy water. It's just like a sticky, the sticky hand that you get in the little coin machine. If it gets all grimy and everything, you get all grimy and stuff. Or you slap M&Ms out of somebody else's hand to eat.
Oh, that's gross. No.
I don't know why you would eat them after you did it. All right, we know what Michael was trying to do with those.
It was on a Bob's Burgers. I was watching Bob's Burgers, and and they were riding a little horse with the.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that was a
It
newer
was just
episode.
last season.
Yeah.
I do remember that because they kept
But-
taking the points. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, if it gets dirty, you wash it with soapy water, and it gets sticky again. So,
All right.
but there is one other thing with this line. There is a play set. So
Oh, good. Okay, a play set.
if you want to call it a play set. So it's just as disappointing as the rest of it. So it's called Manglor Mountain, which came with the Manglor, but the only difference with this Manglor, so there was a variation. So this Manglor was all green. He didn't have any purple on him like the single did. So he was all green. This was a mountain by name only. It didn't even look like a mountain and wasn't very big. Yeah, and you got a picture of your crippled Manglor there.
Missing
but
a
yeah.
hand too.
This
Well,
This
here,
looks
let
like
me put this picture up, Andrew, and you can. Let's see.
John, it looks like a coffee grinder.
That's exactly what it looked like to
Yeah.
me too, and it's about the
does.
size of a coffee grinder. It's only like this big.
Yeah,
And
it's just big enough to slide your figure into. Where's my?
The top of it's clear. Yeah, where's your picture at, Michael?
Go to
The
present.
top of it's clear. It's got a little
It says
red
present
button
now.
in
It
its
changed it
tongue.
on me. Okay.
Yeah, it says present.
Share screen. I got it now.
Hold on 1 second while we do IT technical support for Michael.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the podcast in a second. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Here's a shot of it. Looks
So
like
this
a
is
coffee
it.
grinder. I assume you put the coffee in the top part, the clear part, and then you push down the little red tongue thing, and that
Yeah.
grinds your coffee.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And possibly your Manglor so that you've got Manglor coffee.
Manglor coffee. Manglor coffee.
Manglor coffee.
So you put your dude in the little wire basket there.
Well, you put it. Okay, so no, this. Let me tell you what it looks like. Okay, if you're listening and not listening to the video, it looks like a big black rock. So it's not really a mountain; it's just a rock with a golden dragon head in the middle of it, and the center of it's kind of hollow because you can see all the way through where the mouth of the dragon is all the way through. So the top was a pit that you would pour Mang lava in. So you get red slime. That's the only coolest thing out of this thing. You get red slime instead of green slime. It's red. And you would pour it in there, and then it's the set also came with like a little cage that you put your figure in, and then you would lower the cage into the pit, which is on top. And then the center of the dragon's head is a red button, like Andrew was talking about, in the mouth. And then you press it up and down, and it makes bubbles would come up through the Mang lava, and it would bubble up over your Manglord or your Manglor figure, and it just makes it looks like it's getting lava all over it. So that's it.
But the
It
figure's
looks-
bigger. Like the pit's not big enough to put the whole figure in.
It looks
No, it
orange.
doesn't drop off.
The
Yeah.
slime looks orange to me.
Well, I don't
Well,
even
that's
think that's
just the-
slime. I think
that's
that's just
just
a cover.
It's just the top on it.
No. Here, let me show you this.
Yeah, that's just-
Here
That's
I
just the top
found
right there.
this other one.
If you buy one, I've seen these. Yeah, except that I've seen these where they bought it brand new, and well, that one's actually that picture you're showing there actually looks like it could still be slimy.
yeah,
Most that I've seen, it's all dried up and it's just a big orange ball.
yeah. This looks a little
It's not even
orangish,
a
but
big
that's
orange.
about it.
It's just all dried
Um,
up and shriveled up into a ball.
Here's another picture. You can see there's a little bit more of a difference in the size of the Manglor here, and the actual mountain.
Yeah.
Still not much of a difference. The saving grace of this line is the packaging.
Yeah, the packaging's pretty good.
The fact that I love this. This is on, I guess, this, the back of it. The fact that stretch them, mangle them, returns him to his original shape, tear him apart, and stick him back together again. We're not going to talk about what's going on in the fourth image there because I'm not sure where that leg's coming from again when they put it back.
It's because they stuck it back somewhere else.
Yeah, but the packaging wins here. That's it.
The packaging is good. Let me tell you something about the packaging.
Okay.
The art on the package was done by Ken Scheller. He is best known for his album art for Kiss.
Okay.
The group, the musical group Kiss, and he did the Mego Micronauts packaging as well. So,
Cool.
Yeah. So he's actually a well-known artist.
So the better art was Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, that saves this line from being complete
Horrible.
and utter waste of everything.
I don't think it's going to save it on our rankings.
Oh no. This is ranked number 32 for all of us.
Already.
We're just gonna
32 out of
here. Yeah.
32
It's
Because here's our rankings right now. Because we did Action Jackson last week. Still can't say that. And so that's number 1, and number 32 is Manglor's.
Okay.
So we need a new bingo square that all 3 of our rankings match twice in a row, and you'll get it twice, pretty much, every season.
Yeah. So this one's just trash. Sorry, Ideal. Is Ideal still around?
No.
Okay, good.
They get absorbed.
Who'd they get absorbed by?
Hasbro.
I
mean, you've
I
got
gotta
like
go back and look at my notes.
John, you could take a guess. You just guess one of 3 lines in it, or one of 3 toy figures, or
That's why I
companies
was
that you're gonna
wondering
get.
which
Yeah.
one got it. Was it?
It's either Mattel or
Hold on a
Hasbro.
second. I'll tell you. Hold on 1 second. It went, and I know we've already talked about this, but I can't remember. It was founded in 1907, defunct in 1997, merger with Mattel. Yes, it was
Mattel. Look at that. It was the
and
other
still
one.
on, so still got Mattel. I guess since they merged with Mattel,
Yeah.
and Mattel's still around. So
I mean, Ideal had some good hits, and they've had some bad hits with this, and then Robo Force, and
But they did RoboForce. That's right.
Yes. But they had some good things. There's some good board games they had. They came up where they had Rubik's Cube. They had Viewmaster. So I mean, they had some good stuff over the years.
They did the Howdy Doody doll.
Yeah.
It's weird to say duty.
So, so toys and game. I mean, they had all kinds of things. A lot of teddy bears.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list now. See, there's Mr. Machine. That was a big one back in the 50s and 60s. Mr. Machine.
We're going to be talking about them a lot more. Just looking at this toy line, or this, there's a whole line here. We might just have to do a Ideal episode to kind of talk about a few of these, because a lot of these kind of mix in, and I don't think they're going to be long.
There was a Batman
stories.
playset, Andrew. They did a Batman playset.
I hope it's better than this. Let's see.
We talked about King Kong, didn't we?
Yeah.
Robo Force.
Okay, so
Howdy Doody. Justice League of America playset.
let's look at this. I just guys want you to see this. This is the list, right? So if you're watching the video, you'll see this. We're watching the list. I'm gonna hover over Batman, and it's gonna give me the Batman thing. But look at this creepy kid with his playset. I don't know what's going on here. I was very confused at first. I was like, "Oh, they just went with the straight on."
It looks like what's that? The painting off of Ghostbusters 2 that comes to life.
Oh, the guy.
It looks like him as a kid. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it looks like him as a kid in that picture.
What is that guy?
I didn't hover over Batman first. I just hovered directly over playset, and I was like, "Wow, Batman in this one is a kid. Like they went straight on orphan with this."
It does look like him. That's creepy.
What else?
Lamb
Do we have
chop.
anything else?
They did lamb chop.
No, I mean
Sorry.
that's basically it for this line.
That's it for this
There's
line.
nothing else we can stretch out of this, or is it just going to rip apart?
No, the only thing is if you were a fan of this line and you're trying to find some figures for your collection now, it is kind of almost impossible to find them in good shape because kids tore them apart and tried to put them back together. And
I mean, that was the whole
would
point.
not go back together. Yeah.
If you're trying to find figures of this line, you've got a better plan of just going to a fabric store, getting some foam, and trying to make your own.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's Vigo of Carpathia.
Vigo. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Vigo.
There you go.
Yeah.
But didn't they get
Carpathian
remade?
Yeah.
Didn't someone
Yeah,
else come out with one?
there was a company that actually tried redoing these. It was. Oh wait,
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where I didn't write it down, and of course
it's
I
right
lost my
here.
notes.
Toyfinity in 2013
Yeah.
got the license and tried to redo these.
But was theirs the same?
Theirs wasn't.
Foamy.
No, I think they
weren't
had
foamy
some.
stuff?
No, they had some changes in it, so they didn't tell you to
Okay.
tear it apart.
You couldn't tear them apart. And
Uh-uh.
was it still stretchy?
I think it was still stretchy and foamy or bendable, but squishy. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
so
I mean, of course, they're not going to tell you to tear them apart.
no, they're not going to fail like Ideal did.
Ideal tried that, and they were like, you know what? That didn't work.
No.
Let's not do that again. What else? I mean, do we have anything else here to talk about? I'm sad. It seems like our listeners are going to get a short episode this week.
Well, maybe they can put it on slow mo and stretch it out.
Slow motion. I hear us talk.
Sorry, guys. I really don't want people to do that because then we sound funnier.
Yeah, I
We
would
sound funny
I would,
already. We know.
I would hope, John, that our listeners don't go to Twitter and tear us apart and try to put us back together because of this episode. But if you'd like to, you can get our handles. Follow us, toyrewindpodcast.com. Another thing that you could do, you could go to crossthestreamsmedia.com and follow and listen to all of our sister and partner podcasts that we have over there. There's quite a few of them. There's a whole list of them. But while you're there, if you go to the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little microphone. If you find our podcast, we're on the list. It's a red icon. It says Toy Rewind. If you don't know what you're listening to, we are the Toy Rewind podcast. So you can go down, find that, go to the little microphone. You can leave us a voicemail. Tell us what toy lines you would like us to talk about or do research on. We can add those to our list. We have quite a few. We just found a whole thing of Ideal toys that we can add more to it. So including a creepy Vigo from Carpathia, Batman playset, apparently. So we're going to do some research on those. We'll do those, but you can do that. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you'd like to hear from us. All those kind of things. Listen to all of our partner podcasts because it's crossstreamsmedia.com. John and Michael are now waving at each other, and I don't know why, so they're confusing me.
Wait, I got something.
Oh, is that what you're trying to get my attention? I got something.
Yes, bro.
I thought you were waving at each other.
Stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm already there. I'm halfway through it.
Are we? Did we not hear from Larry?
Oh no, Larry, I'm going to send you a message and tell you the toy lines that we're going to talk about the next few weeks. If you get this, because I forgot to send you this one. My bad. We'll be back with Larry. Larry will be back. I'm going to say Larry didn't have any of these.
You don't think he did?
No, I don't think he did.
I heard from
don't know.
Aaron. Aaron wants us to do movie maniacs. So we'll have to. I put that on the list for us.
Add that to our list.
Yeah.
It is October. So if you are a longtime listener, then you do know that this is all going to be monsters and kind of creepy creepy toy lines. Creepy? Are these toys creepy? They're really creepy. They're like spooky-ish, supposed to be. So next week we are talking about a big one. We're talking about one of John's favorite lines, all about Beetlejuice. So that'll be fun. So be sure to listen up for that. We'll say this. It'll be our next episode. I can't promise when it'll drop, but it'll be our next episode. And it will be in October. So look forward to that. What else? You guys have anything else to add? This is going to be a short episode.
Yeah, we do need to do a toy box showcase sometime or another, but it'd be a couple weeks before we get one.
Yeah, we got some figures to open.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to hook back up over to Mile High and pick up that Superpowers Batman. The original.
The original?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Try to get that one, see if we can compare it to the new ones.
Yeah, if I can get a Superman, I would. But I've got Green Lantern.
$600. I'll get you one.
I got Green Lantern and the new Superpowers Green Lantern. We got to compare.
We have Flash is out now.
I saw Flash, so I've got a original Flash, so we'll compare those two as well. So we got Batman, Flash, and Green Lantern. So. Yeah,
so we'll do that. Look forward to that. Hopefully soon we'll be able to get that done. And then, yeah,
I may do one of these with the next Motoring Monday.
Oh yeah, because it's everything that has a motor.
I might do my Junkions. So give you guys a heads up. I got
just a bunch of
junk.
Just
like the Manglors.
Yeah, no, this is a lot better than that. Yeah, I just picked up Junk Heap here from the Studio Series, Transformer Studio Series. So I'm looking forward to getting that open.
I saw a bunch of smaller Transformers today. I didn't send you a picture of.
Yeah, there's some small ones, some new ones
I
too.
didn't know. So I happened to run across them right as I was walking out of the store from looking at everything else I was looking at.
I just wanted to say sorry to all of our listeners. We've now gone to the talk that we usually do after we sign off because we don't have anything to talk about with Manglors anymore.
We're doing just filler right now.
Yeah, it's all filler. Trying to make maybe 40 minutes. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I can't do this for 3 more minutes.
All right, so now Starions is my second least favorite. So, Manglor.
All right. Okay.
Manglor. I think we ripped Manglor apart enough as it is. All right.
Sorry, Mattel bought Ideal?
Mattel now.
If Mattel bought Ideal because of Manglors, if they bought them because of this toy line, you made a mistake. So sell it off.
They bought Ideal toys for Viewmaster.
Oh, okay. With that, you've been listening to episode 102 of Toy Rewind Podcast, and on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind Podcast, play on. I gotta hit the button.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.